The Japanese 10-year bond yield is just getting out of control at this point. It is going through the roof and it doesn't show any signs of stopping. But why is this happening? Well, it's kind of complex because the bond markets in general are just a very complex entity. But what it seems like is happening is there is political pressure in Japan to do things, just simply put, that would create an inflationary state, right? So increased spending, doing all kinds of things that are just going to create inflation. Well, inflation, as we know, at some point is not good for an economy, especially when your debt is out of control, like most countries are around the world. In this situation, the Bank of Japan comes in and they say, whoa, 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 we don't like that very much. We're going to raise rates to try and stop that inflation process from happening. Well, when you raise rates, you typically further increase yields. So it's kind of like they're just sacrificing short term, crazy high yields on their bonds just to be able to deal with their inflation issues. But now, if the yields are going through the roof in Japan, and I'm a business over there, right? I might be thinking to myself, well, hey, I had all of this money that I had put overseas in US treasuries, which were paying out great yields over there. But now the yields at home are so good, it kind of makes sense to bring it all home, or what's called repatriate those bonds. And this is where the fallout begins, because what happens is these businesses in Japan then go, they sell their US treasuries and they bring that money home, putting it in bonds at home because the yields on those bonds are so well worth it at this point. Well, when you have a mass sell off of US treasury bonds, the same sort of problem starts happening at home here in the US. Because just by basic supply and demand, when the demand for bonds goes down, the price also goes down to try and entice people to buy it. But at the same time, that sends bond yields upward. And so when the bond yields go up in the United States, that makes borrowing costs more expensive. So mortgages are more expensive. But even more importantly, our national debt refinancing is more expensive. Well, that is a massive problem, especially here in 2026, because as you can see from this chart right here, we have over $8 trillion that we are going to have to refinance this year alone. So that refinancing now is much, much more expensive if you have bond yields way up, because it's going to cost the government more to produce more bonds. So I hope this kind of helps everybody sum up why what's going on with the Japan bond yields as well as US bond yields is such a problem, and why it's kind of the perfect storm considering the amount of debt that we also have to refinance as a nation this year alone. Now, of course, we don't know how all